Welcome to Nebraska Preps Postgame with your hosts, Mike Sautter and Jacob Padilla.
Hey everyone, welcome into Nebraska Preps Postgame. Mike Sautter, Jacob Padilla. We have a lot to discuss. Holiday tournaments. We're going to try and recap the biggest ones. We can't get to them all. We would be here for hours if we did. So, Metro Holiday Tournament, the Hack Tournament, Crete was a good one. What else we got? Ashland Greenwood,
the EMC,
EMC conference tournament. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So those are the main ones that we're going to focus on today. And obviously, the holiday tournament lasts, for a decade. It feels like. So let's just roll through that. Let's start there. You want to start girls or boys?
Let's start with the girls.
Girls,
ladies first.
Ladies first. So Millard West remains undefeated, wins 60-48 over Omaha Central in the championship game.
60-45.
60-45, sorry. And Neely Gesser was pretty phenomenal in not just the championship game where she scored 30 and had 5 rebounds. The entire tournament, she was pretty good.
Averaged about 23-6, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block throughout the tournament. Shot almost 40% from 3. And if you've seen her play, she's not taking set wide open threes. They are tough. They're deep. They're off the dribble. They're
Step
off
back,
the move.
between the leg dribble.
She just absolutely put on a show. In the final, had 30 points. 30 points, 10 of 14 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. Millard West, they just jumped out to a 10-0 run, and it was pretty much over from there. They pushed the lead to 20 early in the second quarter. Central, to their credit, they didn't quit. They battled back into it.
They do play hard. They play really hard.
Second half, Millard West just had a tough time scoring, and Central cut it all the way down to 9. And then the Millard West decided, this comeback is over. Kylie Pabin hit a 3. And then Neely Gesser hit 3 more to put an end to the comeback and stretch it back out. And Pabin is the other one that needs a shout out in this game, just a sophomore. She had 19 points and 14 rebounds.
She was 53% from 3 in the tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Hit 3 of them in the final, including that one that kind of ended the run there for Central. Again, averaged 17 and 9 throughout the tournament. So just phenomenal run for Millard West. It's a very good team.
Still undefeated.
And they won by 15 when they got 1 bucket from Nora Gesser.
Yeah, which isn't. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, not going to happen too often. And so if they've got Pabin stepping up like that to go with the Gesser, it's like they're going to be tough.
Even like Taylor Hansen does a lot of dirty worky things.
Calliot kind of same thing.
Like they don't score. Obviously they don't need to score a ton, but they're 10-0.
Yep. And that was the first loss of the season for Central, who's 11-1 now. They just couldn't get shots to fall. Nia Jones had a fantastic tournament and just could not get anything to go in for her in the final. Did a good job of making some plays from others, crashing the glass. There was just a lid on the rim for her. But Amaya Hughes kind of sparked the comeback. I gave him 14 off the bench, only missed 1 shot, had 9 points in the third quarter to kind of get him back into it.
They play at Central again next Friday.
Millard North.
No.
Millard West. Yeah. Central's got Millard North on Friday this week, and then
Millard West next week. Yeah. Tough.
Geez.
Yeah.
Good matchups there, though. But
they
Central,
beat Millard North.
Yeah. And
by a lot.
Yeah. Central, they beat Westside. They were up 10 at half and kind of held on throughout the second half, behind 28 from Nia. She also had 28 and 29 in the quarter in the semifinals for them. So again, she was playing phenomenally. Just couldn't get shots to fall in the final. And I caught up.
Sorry, Millard West beat Millard North. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I messed that up.
Yep. We're good. So just 2 good teams there. Central made a run in both the boys and girls, came up just a little bit short, but Millard West is going to be tough to deal with. Westside, worth mentioning, they got to the semis by knocking off Bellevue West in an 80-76 double overtime game. Probably the game of the tournament, boys or girls, right there. Westside was down 8 at half, kind of took the lead after the third quarter with a big period. Bellevue West tied it up, and they just kind of went back and forth through overtime. And Westside got it done in the second overtime behind 22 points from Kara Strickland at 19 points, 12 rebounds from Sinai Foster. They had 13 offensive rebounds as a team.
That's pretty good.
They had almost 20 more shot attempts and kind of overcame Kenzie Melcher going off for 27 points and going 6 of 8 from 3. So I named my all-tournament teams at the end of there. I went Neely Gessert, MVP, Pabin on there as well from Millard West, Nia Jones from Central, Strickland from Westside, and then I gave it to Avril Smith for Millard North, the other semifinalist there, who just kind of wasn't a big-time scorer, but they kind of spread their offense around.
They don't
She does so much rebounding, passing, steals, blocks. So I
she's a big key for them.
100%. Really so, yeah, it was good to see some competitive girls games there and just some phenomenal individual displays, which we also saw on the boys side.
Right. Or do you want to talk about the Hat girls first?
Let's go through the Metros and then go on to the boys.
Bellevue West wins 75-57 over Omaha Central. Started slow for Bellevue West.
1-9 from 3, down 19-11 after one quarter.
Yeah.
Second quarter, they held Central to 7 points and took the lead. And then in the third quarter, they went 9 of 11 from the field, put up 26 points. And at that point, they were just firmly in control. When they opened the half with 3 straight threes from 3 different players for a 9-0 run. And that was pretty much ball game at that point. Jane Jackson, phenomenal really performance. 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, just flying all over the place. Went 0 for 4 from 3, only scored 2 points in the first quarter. Did not miss a shot, only missed one more shot the rest of the game. And then Robbie Garcia, who's been on a fantastic tear recently.
Yeah, we talked. So I was going to bring Robbie. We talked about him last week about how well, or last pod about how well he's been playing. Yeah. He's just continued that throughout the whole tournament. He's really good. He's, if we're going with like a most improved player, moniker, I guess he's probably right there. Yeah, like he's, if not the guy.
Yeah, he's certainly up there. He had 20 points in the final, was 8 of 12 from the field, hit a few more threes. In the at 12-9 in the semifinal, they beat Omaha Westside by 20. And then in the quarterfinal against Omaha Bryan, won by 21, he went 8 for 8 from 3.
Yeah.
That's
he was 8 and 9.
He was 8 and 9.
Yeah,
Stephen Polacek in the semifinal
game. Yeah, I thought you were talking
went
about
8 for 9 from 3. So that's like they had 2 different guys hit 8 threes in a game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Throughout this tournament run. So if Bellevue West is playing like that, then we're looking at
hard to beat.
Yeah, we're looking at another state title.
They're the most balanced team just because of the size that they have and guards are good.
And that was part of the slow start is 5 minutes into the game, both Jacob Barope and Robbie Garcia had 2 fouls and had to go to the bench. Yeah. And that's when Central was able to take advantage of their size, pound it inside a little bit and get the lead. In the second quarter, Dale Ron Thomas, who has been the guy for Central throughout this run and the key reason they made it this far, he picked up his 3rd foul on a charge and had to sit the last 3 minutes of the half. And without him, they couldn't really get anything going offensively. So second half, foul trouble didn't really play into it. And both teams were able to play full strength. And Thomas just couldn't quite get shots to fall at the same rate that he did in the Millard North game. I had him with 8 assists to go at 16 points. But they just didn't quite get
his off balance kind of pull up jumper thing. When that's hitting, he is tough.
100%.
He's tough and shooting threes. I mean, he's not a known 3-point shooter.
Well,
but
they knocked off Millard North by 20 in the quarterfinal.
That wasn't.
Thomas had 32, went 8 of 10 from 3 in that game. And the shots he was hitting, they're deep, they're late in the clock, hand in his face, off the move.
It's kind of like a statement game for him, I thought.
Just the 3-point shooting that we saw in this tournament, again, 3 different boys went 8 for 10. Caleb Jasu for Prep went 6 for 8 in a game. I mentioned Kenzie Melcher for the Bellevue West girls went 6 for 8 in that double overtime game. Just an absolute display of shooting throughout this tournament. It was fun to see, honestly. Mm-hmm. Central they beat Millard North and then they beat Gretna. And honestly, they beat Omaha North in the kind of the first round there. pulled away, but it was a very ugly game. 40 turnovers. I'm like, Central did not look like a team capable of making a run in that game, and boy, did they turn it around.
I mean, 3 tough games in a row. That's something. I mean, it gets Central ready, right, for postseason stuff, and
and we were kind of wondering, like, all right, that OPS, who's going to pull, kind of emerge from that, and
it was Brian or Central was the conversation, and
Central certainly made an impression here, and
just so well coached, obviously, Chubbucks, and they just do such a good job.
Yeah, they won in the semis against Gretna 51-47, and
another close game.
And it was back and forth the whole way. Dalen Thomas again in the fourth quarter seemed like he made every big play, whether it's a bucket, an assist, a block on defense. He just made so many huge plays to put them ahead late. And then Gretna, down by 3, they had 3 chances in the last 45 seconds to tie it, and none of them went down. Just could not quite get the ball to go in. So obviously the kind of probably the highlight of the entire tournament was the quarterfinal game for Gretna. I think anybody at this point,
if you don't know what we're talking about, then sorry. I will say from my, it was, you just will never forget that.
100%. And so we're talking about Gretna and Brad Feakin, and you texted me on whatever that morning and said, hey, there might not be, there might not be a 5:15 game. And I'm like, wait, what? And then it clicked. I was like, oh, and
I didn't want to tell you.
And then I was like, oh, I just thought about it for a second. Like, oh man. So obviously we know Feakin's had been battling cancer for a long time, and finally succumbed to it the morning of their game.
Yeah.
And Gretna as a team, players, coaches decided, hey,
he would have
do what they've been doing.
He
would
have wanted them to play.
Yeah. They did what they've been doing all year. They played for Feak. And the way that game played out, they got up to a big lead in the first half, and the second half, nothing they did seemed to work on offense. There was a lid on the rim. You'd see it kind of falling apart. Like, oh no, not like this.
The emotion, right?
Yeah. And then so down 2. Again, haven't made a shot all game. Get the ball to Alex Wilcoxon.
Joey Veith took the charge
in between. So Wilcoxon kind of up and under bucket. He hadn't been able to hit a shot all game. Made the big bucket for the tie with 40 some seconds left. Papio kind of holds the ball. Papio South, and then Reese Kircher attacks basket, trying to go for the go ahead bucket. And Joey Veith, that's what he does. He takes charges. He's kind of in
the game to do the dirty work.
100%. And stepped in there, took the charge, and gave him the ball back with 8.6 to go. They got the ball into Landon Bakorski, pushed it up the court, got to the baseline, a little tough angle floater. Like I don't know how many.
Tough, man.
I don't know how many times he's taken that exact shot. Like that's his. And to see it go through the net and time expire, and see him running down the court, big fist pump, and then pointing to the sky as his teammates swarmed around him. Like that's something that, like you said, I'll never forget that. It's a really tough time for that community, but I mean, the support, the atmosphere at that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people there cheering them. I mean, pregame,
everybody throughout.
There's every sort of emotion in like an hour and a half.
Papio South, Papio South put like green tape stripes on their jerseys. Everybody's wearing the 4 feet warm ups. Like it was just really cool to see. Just the community, just basketball fans in general, the other teams just rally around Gretna and that team. And I mean, the moment Lane Lindbergh, Dirk Chatelain sharing a hug at the buzzer, like that was just unbelievably emotional. It was everybody involved.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it was had all the feels about that.
That's for sure. So all-tourney team, Jane Jackson MVP just for his championship performance, and really good throughout. Robbie Garcia, Steven Polachek. So Bellevue West, I think you play as well as they did. I think you earn.
Polachek's a guy. Can we stop on him for a minute?
61% from 3 in the tournament.
Yeah, he should probably be getting 4 to 6 3-point attempts a game.
Yeah,
and if he is, he's making 3.
Yeah, 3 to
at least, right? And that just opens everything up. And Eldon Turner didn't feel well semifinal game and played through it.
Yeah.
Gutted through the semifinal and final game. Was not healthy at all. You could see it. Like after the game, he was on the semifinal game. He was dead.
Yeah.
But like other guys stepped up. I mean, if he's healthy, if Steven's knocking down shots, Jaden Jackson, we clearly know can shoot. Like opens up a lot of stuff because you can't sit back on him. You can't pack it in.
And where he kills you too is in transition.
Right.
Like they are so good about whether it's off a stop or even off a bucket, taking the ball out of the net and getting it up the court in a hurry. And he's waiting there in that corner on that wing for that hit ahead pass. And if you're not back and matched up, like he's going to make you pay for it.
I said something at the end of the semifinal game. I said, so Polachek's going to Dort.
Yeah.
Him just in the corner with
Connor Milliken pushing. Yeah.
Golly. Like, yeah, that'll play.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
So 3 Thunderbirds. Jaden Jackson shot 40% from 3, kind of a slacker there.
Yeah.
Robbie Garcia shot 77%, and Steven Polachek shot 61% in the tournament.
Yeah.
So that right there is probably why they were able to take home the hardware.
Yeah.
Deron Thomas, 19, 5, and 4 in the tournament.
He killed it. He statement, like I'm here, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
You know.
100%.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Stubblefield, I gave the 5th spot to, average 14 points. He was West
Could have been a handful of guys, but
West Side's most consistent performer. I mean, CJ Mitchell was their best player in the semi, but had 24 and hit some tough shots, but they just didn't quite get enough around him and Kevin. Kevin was big in their quarterfinal.
Kevin's their most consistent.
In their win over Prep, knocked off the kind of the host school in a rivalry game, and he was the biggest reason why. So.
Yeah, Kevin is pretty consistent when it comes to that. As far as West Side is, and I mean, you could have maybe given it to Amari Bynum because big game, but like it's kind of always whenever you do an all tournament team, you can always kind of go with like games plural,
and that's where you try to
and it's account for. It's generally always going to be the semifinalist or the finalist team, players from those teams. It's just
more chances to make an impression.
They played more games, right? So that's okay.
So you want to move on to the hack?
Yeah, let's move on to the hack. You want to start with girls because you did?
Sure.
I mean, I think we just talked about Kennedy Williams.
Yeah, Kennedy Williams. 56-51 win over Lincoln Northeast for Southwest in the final there. Kennedy Williams. So Danila Washington, she was really like good. 20 and 10 or something like that for Northeast, like just monster performance. But Williams and the Silverhawks won out. They beat North Star 50-48 in overtime in the semifinal,
right?
And then handled Lincoln East in the quarterfinal there. So that was kind of their run to the final. And
Kennedy, game winner to win the game.
Yep,
3-point shot to win the championship at the buzzer.
Yep. After like just a couple games after whatever, when did hit 7 threes, set a school record.
2 games.
Yeah. Pretty good tournament for the future Husker.
She's awesome. Like I've said this a lot in the past. You want an example of a high school athlete just playing hard and everything, like life. It's her.
Yeah. And I've seen most of the top Class A girls teams now. Southwest is probably the one that I need to see next to kind of round that out there.
Highest probably in that conversation too.
Yeah. That's kind of the hack on the girls' side. Again,
the boys' side, Lincoln Southeast, the Knights are rolling.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Like that win over West Side, like the attention grabber.
Yeah.
And since then they haven't lost.
They started the season 3-2.
Or 2-3. Right?
Or 2-3. Yeah. Sorry, with losses to tough loss.
Yeah.
Like lost to Gretna, lost to Prep, lost in double overtime at Bryan.
Yeah.
Beat Grand Island, beat Bellevue East handily, right? Both of them. And then win at home against Westside, win at home against Columbus, handled them.
Yeah.
And then in the tournament, they beat North Star, good team.
That Columbus game, they were in the play-in round, so that was part of the tournament.
Oh yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah,
they were the 5 seed or whatever it was.
Playing.
So
they won a play-in game to get into the actual, or what do they
to
call
get
it?
in the quarterfinals.
First, they call
Yeah.
it something different in Lincoln because they can't say loser bracket and stuff like that because, you know, I don't know why. But yeah, beat Columbus to actually advance into the tournament. They weren't one of the top 4 seeds. So then beat North Star. I was at that game. North Star was fully everyone played for North Star. So they were there and they played really well. Mike Nagoy, he adds a lot to them. Takes some pressure off of Tamor.
Yeah. So throughout this, you look at their run. I mean, I do the
Tamor had a really good tournament.
I do the top performers post every week where I scan through the box scores and just give some attention to the guys that played the best games over the past week. And I had I think 3 or 4 different. I think I had all 4. So Mike Nagoy, Tamor, Jake Hilkeman, and Den Geet all made that list for me last week.
Best players.
All of them had 19, 20 plus throughout this tournament run. So that's the thing. You've got multiple guys playing well throughout a week. One guy struggles, the other guys are picking them up. I mean, in the championship there, it was a 78-70 win over Pius in the championship. They were down 5 after 3 and then dominated the fourth quarter, 27-14 to get the win there. And Jake Hilkeman, 25 points, 7 boards. Mike Nagoy, 24. Tamor, 17 points, 7 assists, 5 boards. Geet had 11, so he had all 4 of those guys in double figures. Michael Haith had 21.6 boards, and Trayson Anderson had 18 and 14 for Pius, but wasn't quite enough to keep pace. So that was, I mean, that's in the final. And then they knocked off Kearney 61-55 in the semis, who Kearney was the top seed.
Right.
So that was really impressive run by them. And now we were asking who's the best team in Lincoln. And I think Southeast answered that definitively now with the run.
And they were not in the conversation at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's you thought they could be, but with what they had lost, they were going to be a completely different team this year than they were last year. So you didn't kind of know what to expect from them. But they've kind of settled in over the last couple of weeks here. And Central is another team, one of the biggest risers over the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, their Southeast 5 straight wins are against 4 top 10 teams. Or 4 of their 5 are top 10 rated-ish teams.
Yeah.
We're receiving votes in our coaches' bowl, I guess.
Yep.
That's pretty good run.
Pretty impressive there.
I'm guessing when we do that.
Yeah, you'll probably see them in the rankings. It'll be
Sunday. I'm guessing they're going to be probably in the 5-ish range. They would definitely be up there. How about that?
Yep. So those are kind of the 2 major conference tournaments there. Another one another conference tournament is the EMC tournament.
Right.
And that's huge because 2 of the 3 or 4 best teams in Class B are in the EMC.
Fair.
And they faced each other in the final. So first, Norris ended up winning the title. In the semifinal, they took down Bennington by 26.
Bennington had been playing really well, too.
Yeah. Chris Garner Jr. had 30 points, 8 boards, 3 assists in that. 12 of 14 from the field, including 2 threes and 4 or 5 from the line. Hard to be much more efficient than that.
Right.
So statement win there from Norris to get into the final, and where they faced Elkhorn. And we've talked about Elkhorn, the size they have, the experienced guard play. Norris pulled it out 57-52 to hand Elkhorn their first loss, I believe. And Garner Jr. again at 20.6 boards. Evan Greenfield off the bench, 11 points, 5 boards. And again, when he's providing a spark off the bench like he did in that Wahoo game, it changes things.
He's going to be really good.
Yeah. You got Alex Small, kind of is honestly a triple-double threat every game. He's not really going to be a 20-point scorer, but he's a 9 point, 7 rebounds, 6 assists type of kid, almost every game. And he's their toughest perimeter defender. So they just got a lot of good pieces. Barrett obviously is a shot maker, and so Norris they had that early.
They lost to. They lose too early.
That's what I was just trying to think.
It was a top 10, like Elkhorn or something. Elkhorn North. Scott.
I will look it up right now. But yeah, so really impressive performance. It was Elkhorn. Yeah. So
Elkhorn.
yeah, lost by 10. That's right. And so they avenged that loss in the final there. So they've each got to win against each other.
I think they're just going to start beating each other up a little bit.
Like
Class B is going to beat each other up. You have, like Elkhorn North plays at Scott on Saturday.
Yeah.
Like that's that's something. The EMC clearly is tough.
Yeah, and Elkhorn, they beat Elkhorn North by 5 to get in the semifinal. And again, Elkhorn North is a little different team now. They've got Sutton Piatkowski compared to where they were at the start of the season. He makes a bit of a difference for them. So yeah, EMC continues to be one of the toughest conferences.
Elkhorn North 5-3, and
and we're Elkhorn North girls won the tournament there. Like they're Brett Prince recently surpassed 2,000 points for her career.
Pretty good.
So yeah, pretty good. And then finally, we mentioned kind of the tournament out at Doane in Crete there. So it happens every year. I've been out to that tournament before when my brother was playing in Ralston, and they were in the tournament. So it's a fun one. And Norris and Elkhorn, 2 top 4 team, probably the other 2 in top 4 are Crete and Scott. And they faced each other in the final. I was able to watch this one back.
They're 2 and 3, I guess.
Yeah. Scott was up 41-35 heading into the fourth quarter, and then Crete just absolutely locked
Scott was
up.
Leading the whole game.
Yeah. Crete ended up winning 58-52, won the fourth quarter 23-11. Just fantastic performance from Aiden McDowell, who has kind of been their guy all season.
He's their best player.
29 points on 50% shooting, 8 of 11 from the line. Justice Gardner was great on both ends of the floor at 13 points, 4-7 from the field, hit a couple of threes, 7 boards, 3 steals. And Brock Scholl had a big game for Scott with 18 points, 13 boards, but like they made his touches tough. Like it wasn't like they could just go to him every single time. Like everything he got was kind of within the flow of the offense. Like they did a good job of limiting his touches and keeping him to 18 when nobody else. Kyle Cannon was in serious foul trouble the entire game. Was basically a non-factor because of it, and that was huge. Like they need him out there on the court. And so that was kind of, they were able to hang on in the first half without him, but fourth quarter, just he fouled out. I don't think he enough he scored in the fourth. Like he only had like a couple of buckets, something like that. So
Scott's weekend is tough.
At
Roncalli and at Elkhorn North.
Yeah,
that's not
2 games
easy.
that they're gonna have to go out and earn.
It's
have to play well to win those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really impressive by Crete. I also watched Crete's semifinal and against Maryville, Missouri. That's Ben McCollum, the Northwest Missouri State coach. His kids are playing for that team. Crete just kind of dominated that game, was in control the entire way. And Ben Ehlers was fantastic. Had, I think, 20 and 14, like 4 or 5 assists. They had, I think, 3 or 4 guys in double figures in that one. McDowell didn't even play well, and they still won handily. So this isn't a 1-man, 2-man team. Like any of those starting 5 can score in double figures in any given game. And they've got size. They have multiple guys that can post you up. And then they'll go out and have some guys that can hit shots from the perimeter as well. And then McDowell's a guy that can get buckets on and off the ball. So
Crete's been our number 1 team, will be, consistently all that. But they're clearly the number 1 team.
Yep.
And B. So especially after that win over Scott, puts them squarely number 1, I think.
Yeah. So
the weird thing is they don't play Norris this year.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
They are like 15 miles apart, or 20, whatever it is. 20. They're like, they should play every year. They're right there.
I guess
conference is why. But
I guess we'll have to wait until the state tournament, hopefully, and we see that matchup at some point. Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I just think they should play. But that's just my opinion.
So that's a lot's happened over the last couple weeks.
Let's touch on maybe Wahoo tournament. Wahoo wins it.
Yeah, I was out there on the for the first day, seeing Wahoo Newman won.
Yeah, buzzer beater.
Yeah, scored at the end to win the game there after it was back and forth with Seward. And then Wahoo won handily against Mount Michael. Mount Michael took 42 threes in that game.
That's crazy.
42.
No business.
I
was
hit 10
there
of
for
them.
that game.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
And then Wahoo won
Beat
pretty
Newman,
handily, and Newman in the final as well. Wahoo continues to roll. I mean, Marcus Glock, kid's tough. And Cody Hester, I was really impressed with him against Mount Michael. I had 20 points, kind of capped it off at the dunk late in the game. Really efficient, only missed a couple of shots. So
sure does feel like it's going to be a Wahoo and
Ashland Greenwood,
which
they also took care of business. That beat Roncalli, I believe, handily in their holiday tournament as well.
In the final,
So
beat Aurora pretty
handily,
and then
So
they did that. Wahoo's 2 losses are Ashland Greenwood and Norris, so not bad.
Yeah,
you get some decent wild card teams to lose to, I guess, if you had to. And then they play Saturday. They host Lincoln Lutheran, who is playing really well.
And we're recording this on Thursday. I'm considering going down to Lincoln Lutheran for that. They're hosting Concordia tonight on Thursday night as we record this. So I might head down for that one because on Saturday I've got Creighton duties.
I ain't going
down. So might head down to that one. And then Friday we mentioned the Millard North boy-girl doubleheader.
Yeah, with Central.
Rematch for the boys side there. And then again,
Wahoo hosts Lincoln Lutheran and then Blair on Tuesday.
So
yeah.
Well, I think that's about wraps it up for us. We got
to wrap it up.
Yeah. Sunday we'll get a new poll out, coach's poll.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of change because it's been a couple of weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. We haven't done one. It's okay. Wanted to get through the holiday stuff. So it would be a lot of movement.
We'll be back on Monday, I believe, to kind of
recap
all that and then hit some of the big weekend games. You'll obviously have to catch up. You're heading up to
I'll have to pay attention.
Wisconsin to check out some high school hoops there. On your way to Madison. Gonna go check out Nebraska commit Nick Janowski with his Pewaukee squad up there.
Yep.
And then continue on to see the Red Hot Huskers coming off the big win over
playing pretty well.
Yeah, playing at Madison against another former Wisconsin Nebraska prep standout with Chucky Hepper, who
be able to see Chucky
throwing lobs off the backboard to people now.
Yeah, be able to see Chucky play, which is always fun. So I'll have to catch up on Sunday. So all right, that'll do it for Nebraska Preps postgame.